numerology, spiritism, etc. Continued. Take 1. Hello, and welcome to part 2 of God, the Christ, the Bible versus spirit, mediums, etc. We, the Ministry of the Real Truth, have been inundated or flooded with a lot of business opportunity offers, casino offers, free gift offers, etc. And also the likes of numerology, astrology, psychic, tarot, fortune cookie readings. And we thought, well, that's interesting because a verse in the Bible reminded us of, especially in the Old Testament, certain people is being told not to do this, that if they find these people amongst them, they should be either ousted, separated from their people, or stoned to death, or punished by other means, because they were abominable or detestable to God. So we decided to examine them. We signed up to a few, and looking at both sides of the coin, basically, we saw that they were like describing your, or telling you of your birth number, etc., your personality, what you're actually like as a person, all this sort of stuff, and what's possibly going to happen soon, in next month, 6 months, year, or in your future. And they suggest you should do this, you should do that, and the angel might say they have a special message for you, God might have one for you, or something like that along those lines. But the catch 22 is you need to pay them a certain amount of money and probably accept your other offers, sometimes free gifts, get it at a discount, all that sort of stuff, before they can talk to the angels on your behalf, and the angels will release that good luck, fortune, or love of your life, or whatever they're talking about, right, to make your life so much better. Again, we're looking at two sides of the coin, because, okay, let's say, for example, fundamentalist Christians are very hardcore. They say, well, the Bible says this, the Bible says that, so, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Well, yeah, okay, fair enough, if that's what the scriptures actually say. But we're interested in finding out, is it as evil as these religious affiliations, adherents, etc. say? Okay, what's the reason behind it? Why is it so evil, etc.? Is it because they're not obeying the law, the commands? They're seeking other information apart from God, and so forth? Or is it not as bad as they claim it is? Okay, can it actually change your lives? Is it like an insight into your character, your life, etc., and what you could do better? Okay, because there's scriptures that says something along the lines of all good comes from above, and the Apostle Paul, we are reminded, says not all things are bad, but then again, not all things are good. If it throws you off your path, the road of the faith, the journey, etc., well, discard it. But they also do have warnings. Watch out, don't get involved with these spiritists, astrologists, numerologists, or whatever, right? Because they're detestable, they're accursed, shun them, all this sort of stuff. Okay. Yet we are also reminded that in the New Testament, the Magi, who were supposedly Persian, they obviously practiced their form of astrology to find the exact location where the newborn king, the promised Messiah, Jesus the Christ would be born. So they come to this foreign land, and it was ruled by Herod, an Edomite, apparently part Arabic, part Jewish, something like that. And they asked him, well, whereabouts is this new king of Israel to be found? Okay, which city, which part, which town is he in? You know, can you help us out? And he says, oh, okay, there's a new king. Okay. He, in his mind, back of his mind, he's like, oh, a new king. Well, most new kings rise up and they take over your kingdom and put you to the sword or drive you out, whatever. So they're a threat. You could possibly be a threat to my kingship. Don't want that. So I'll play this little game. Oh, okay. According to the texts, the scriptures or whatever, the writings that these Herod's priests or whatever had, they says, oh, it should be Bethlehem, etc., etc., according to the prophecy. So he goes, oh, okay, just down the road there. When you find this new king, let me know, come back and tell me so I can come and worship him as well. But he wanted to kill this child before it rose up, became a king, was a threat to his kingdom, or took over, you know, this insecurity he had. Right, because as you know in the scriptures, he planned to have every child under the age of 2 or 2 years and under put to the sword, according to the scriptures. Okay, so again they practice some sort of astrology, looking at the stars, mapping the stars, all that sort of stuff, probably numerology. So why is it so evil or sinful to do that today? Okay, so we signed up for a couple, knowing that we were created and put on this planet for a special purpose. Everyone's put on the planet for a purpose, right? God has a plan for them. So we come to realize over time that our possible mission or commission is to look at all the religions, especially the 3 major religions, Judaism, Christianity and Islam, and all the branch offs, right, the different sects, the different movements, groups, cults, etc., who are claiming this and that as established fact, this and that as evidence or proof that their holy texts are correct, that they've got the right translations, and that their holy guru or founder or Swami or whatever is a prophet of God, that they're the right church movement, they're exclusive and it's not for anybody else, that they're the true Jews, the true Hebrew Israelites or whatever, and so forth. We look at what they have to say, and we look at their facts, and we try to establish their facts as facts, and look at the evidence to see if that evidence actually proves itself as evident, and look at the writings, the authors of these so-called texts, or the claimant texts, right, from their prophet or whoever, to see if it's to see if he's irrefutable or infallible, and then therefore his writings or his texts or whatever, or his claims will be infallible, right? Go through all these methods, these steps, through our own personal research. So yeah, we had this funny feeling, we've been running away from God for years and years, right? But then we finally realized through the original ancient Aramaic, Old Testament and New Testament Galilean Aramaic scriptures that God has a plan, he had a purpose for our lives, and we realized what it was to expose all these different religions, the main 3, Judaism, Christianity and Islam, and the branch of office, right? And to inform the people that they've been lied to, deceived over the centuries by these, and today by these modern Christian prosperity charisma churches who are basically gimme, 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 give me what I want. You have to pay us 10% of your earnings from your job, because it's written in the Bible. It says you must tithe. Plant a seed and you'll reap a harvest, i.e. give us $1,000 to $10,000. That's a seed you plant, right? And then it shall grow and you shall reap the harvest, because God will bless you, all that sort of stuff. And maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. It's like The Secret or the law of attraction. Doesn't seem to happen, doesn't work for you, and you ask why, and they say, well, you didn't stand on one leg long enough and pray hard, you didn't fast, didn't do charitable acts, or whatever. What excuse they can come up with. You didn't clap 10 times and you danced 9 times, all that sort of rubbish, right? So sorry, you can't have your money back, boo hoo hoo, try again, right? You're not doing right no matter what you come up with, etc, etc, right? Yeah, they're all after your money. People like Kenny Copeland, you know, got let's just say, for argument's sake, he's got a $60 million house or something, $6 million plane and airstrip with his own gas, his own fuel station there, and he can fly to Barbados or the Bahamas for a holiday, him and his entire family, live it up. He's living it up on the donations of his church members, okay, the parishioners. Okay, he's using their money, and he's stating when questioned, when confronted, oh no, God said I'm not to be poor, poverty's a sin, so yeah, he's giving me all these blessings and I'm super rich, you know. Yeah, and they gain all these material things, these possessions, they have their leisures, pleasures, etc. And, you know, while you still struggle to pay the basics, your utility bills, and buy food. Okay. So it's all about gimme, 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 make me rich, etc. And they're giving you all these false translations, interpretations, interpolations, renderings, whatever, right? Saying it's all true, from reading from these Americanized Bible versions that come from one source, while they're preaching you, well, according to Revelations, this particular church and religion, and obviously an empire, the false church, all this sort of stuff, yet they're sucking up to her, and you know, through her they're getting rich, according to those scriptures, right? They're affiliated with her, they're like praising her, you know, the main man of it, in the church and all this sort of stuff. They're still clinging to her rituals, sacraments, etc., while wearing the same clothing as her and going through those processes. Okay, many of them, like Creflo A. Dollar, was approached, confronted on video, the news, by a certain newswoman, and she says, "Oh, do you really need a house like that with 21 rooms and 10 toilets and a garage for 5 cars and all that sort of stuff, when there's probably people in the alleyway next door to your house? They haven't got a bean, they're going hungry, all that sort of stuff. Why don't you help them? You know, put them in there, all that sort of stuff. Give them a place to live." And she's like, again, well, you know, it says in the Bible, I shouldn't be poor, I shouldn't be in poverty, I should be rich. God bless me with all this money, all these possessions, whatever, according to scripture, etc, etc. She says, well, it doesn't actually say that, right? Yeah, and other people like that. Okay, it goes on and on and on, and they get caught up, you know, tax evasion or whatever else devious stuff they're up to. Okay, so yeah, to get to the meat and potatoes, we signed up, had a look, you know, because looking at both sides of the coin, and one in particular, a numerology reading, something said, your life path number is 2. You have entered this world as a peacekeeper in society. Another one said, you're here for a spiritual reason. You're here to help the world, maybe change the world. Only you can provide this insight, this knowledge. No one else can, and so forth, right? You know you got to do it. Maybe you're a bit slack because of fear or whatever. If you don't do it, blah blah blah. And then here's catch 22. For us to release this ability, it'll change your life forever. Hurry up and send us $80 for this package, right? Of course, it's fair enough. They've got to survive. They need money to pay their bills, their utilities, to eat, etc. Right? But yeah, how do you know they aren't all scams, right? Because they seem to be computer generated. You put your name and your date of birth, all that sort of stuff, and it fills in the blanks. Okay, not 100% accurate. I'd say probably about to be real, probably about 80 to 90%. It seems like, wow, that's me. You think, yeah, that's me. That's definitely me. Maybe not that. No, that's definitely not me. And you start believing it. Okay, so you might be silly and you go pay your money, and then it's just a total load of rubbish. Nothing comes to light, right? Nothing happens. Okay, it's all a load of garbage in most cases. Okay, so it says you've entered this world as a peacekeeper in society, seeking to create harmony among all you interact with. Your strengths come from ability to pay attention and acknowledge others. I wonder how many other people actually get the same reading, right? As the most womanly, oh my gosh, males pride on their masculinity, so it's like a real kick in the nuts. As the most womanly among all numbers, number 2, many may underestimate you when it comes to clout and power. Yet when you hold closer and demonstrate the strength of your spiritual side, you are perceptive, forward-thinking, optimistic and creative thinker, which are all traits of a great leader. Always believed, or always seem to come across statements by these numerologists, astrologists, etc., zodiac sign readers, that a certain sign destined to be a leader, like say for example Bruce Lee, the dragon, whenever he was born, that zodiac, when they read the astrology, numerology on that person after they've passed, right, says, oh yeah, he was destined to be famous, have all this wealth, because he was born in the year of the dragon, and they're natural born leaders, all that sort of stuff, right? Okay, so these extremes make you attractive with much to offer in your surroundings. You have the budding requirements to be a philosopher of our ideas, and no doubt interested in understanding many of life's mysteries. If you are living with the positive attributes, you are apt to have the most delicate ability to be unprejudiced and reasonable. There is sincere concern for others. You think the best of people and want the best for them. You are honest and open in thought, word and deed. You clearly see the full range of viewpoints in any debate or circumstance, which is why people may seek you out to be a moderator. Well, it hasn't happened yet on chat sites or anywhere else. You are the master of finding the middle ground and of maintaining harmonization in your surroundings. In this role, you are able to settle disputes with the most impartial manner. You excel in any form of group activity where your expertise in handling and combining people in the most effective way can be used effectively. Manners and tact mark your way with others, and you are not one to dominate a group or situation. As an ultimate team leader, you never demand honour or gratitude. Could be something else here that we... Okay, have a look at pictures. Another one that we took a screenshot of. Hopefully this is the right one. Okay. Okay, it says you're an explorer of places and ideas and a pace setter for popular trends. Openness to too many peripheral influences limits and frustrates you. Yeah, doing too many things at once. You are self-reliant, confident and energetic. Yeah, we get into the self ideas, like you should be you should be non-independent, self-reliant, self-producing, etc, etc, all the selves, but not selfish. Okay, grow your own veggies, build up your stores in times of plenty, also your money and all that sort of stuff, right? So when the bad times arrive, you will be able to keep up with the rent and all that sort of stuff until maybe, like I said, maybe you lost your job or something like that, until you find another job and so forth. Yeah, be self-dependent, independent, non-dependent on government, state, all that sort of stuff, or anybody else, family, friends, etc. Because most times people let you down, right? They're not there when you really need them. You have executive abilities and are most successful at owning a business. Yeah, okay, well, and not too sure on that one. You need the free will to make your own decisions. Yeah, like that sort of idea. Based on your own ideas. You can also be a perceptive politician. A polytrickster? Okay. You also have the ability to influence the opinions of your closest peers. Yeah, okay. The number 1 symbolizes the leader, forger, soldier, and risk taker. Yeah, okay. Strength and determination are central to your success. You possess a great reserve of resolve that must be directed at your goals. You have great control over attentiveness and the ability to imagine your goals, thus making them within reach. You stand up for your ideals, and you hold your ground. You may have the inclination to be self-centered. You can be overbearing and in the extreme a harasser. Yeah, I tease the hell out of the daughters and stuff, yeah, even the cat. Give them a hard time, yeah. They get really upset. Yeah, just a tease or whatever, right? You know, bit of humour. Sometimes the mouth gets a bit too much, okay, but they put me straight. You can be highly critical of others. Yeah, probably. And you may vocally express your disappointment about others who may lack the hard work or fortitude you possess. No, I don't think so. This lack of understanding may distance friends and family members from you. Yeah, that's why it says may. You may or may not be. Like these tarot card readers and all that sort of stuff. If it resonates with you, yeah, well, you know, take it on board. But if it doesn't, just ignore it, move along. You must learn to manage your emotional outbursts of frustration to maintain harmony in relationships. Avoid stubbornness. Yeah, the star sign that I am is supposedly very stubborn. And aggression. You must cultivate balance, compassion, and perseverance. You easily assume the role of protector. You spring into action when leadership is needed. You possess strength and determination which, when applied to any endeavour you're committed to, will lead you to great success in life. Pride can be your downfall. You so powerfully identify with your goals and ambitions that you sometimes refuse to see a potential flaw or weakness in your well-laid plans. Yeah, pig-headed. Someone says, no, you're actually wrong there. You know, you shouldn't be saying that, or shouldn't be. It's like too overbearing, or your mouth. You need to control your mouth. It's not the appropriate thing to say with that sort of stuff, or that's not going to work, or whatever. And because you're pig-headed, it's like you just don't want to listen, right? You think, no, what I said was right, and then later on, when you realise it was actually wrong, you might admit to those people, yeah, you were right. How did you know that? Okay, you were right. I admit it. Yep, sorry about that. Yeah, so all of this, yeah, is good, I suppose. Sounds like me. A lot of it isn't. Okay. Heard of people that create this sort of thing to tickle your ears. It's in the Bible, all that sort of stuff. It's the kind of thing that you want to hear. You want it to make you feel the way you want to feel, all this sort of stuff. So yeah, you take this on board and you think, yeah, that's right, that's me. Maybe that's not. Maybe that is true. Oh, okay, didn't know that. You start believing it, right? But then it doesn't come to light. Okay, all these things that they're telling you, it's all positive, basically a little bit of negative. Okay, you have to balance it, I suppose. Down here, see, sometimes you can portray negative traits which create anxious energy and so forth. Yeah, so what does it say about all this sort of stuff in the Bible? Basically, it's a no-no. Shun it. Anyone that's doing all this sort of stuff is detestable, abominable to God, and all this sort of stuff. Fundamentalists go hard on it, say, oh, it's the devil, Satan, or it's all evil and all this sort of stuff, right? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Everyone has the right to, they got this free will to choose, to decide, is it right or is it bad? Is it good or is it bad, right? Okay. They don't have to take on board because someone else says, oh, it's the devil, it's Satan, that it actually is. Let them figure that out for themselves. Okay. Yeah, so we figure that if this is all true, and it happens, well, good things come from above, as the scripture says, and as the Apostle Paul said in the scriptures, not everything is bad, but not everything is good. if it benefits you, etc., etc. Yeah, okay, but if it throws you off your path as a God-fearing believer, etc., right, then shun it. Okay, if it leads you to doing evil, detestable things, shun it. Maybe God, according to them, says it's an abomination, all this sort of stuff. You should be doing this, you should be doing that. This is not what God does. Ask yourself, would God do this sort of thing? Does he consult the tarot? Does he look at the astrology? Does he do psychic readings or calls in a psychic, all that sort of stuff? According to scriptures, no. Okay. Consider all things as rubbish for the sake of the Christ. There's plenty of scriptures like that. So hopefully we have covered both sides of the coin, and now the rest of it's up to you. But we're just basically saying, according to the scriptures, okay, all this sort of stuff seems to be a no-no, even though the Magi in the ancient days used astrology, possibly numerology, etc., to find where the Christ child was going to be born, according to the prophecy, or scriptures, and according to the prophecy. Maybe that's a completely different form of numerology. Maybe it's, the ancient has become the modern, and it's pretty much the same. Do your personal research, look at the scriptures, examine them, know what they're actually saying, and decide, A, is it detestable according to the scriptures, or B, not so bad, it's worked for me. Yeah, you have free will to decide, to choose, but you don't really have free will as a follower of God in the Christ, because God has set laws, commandments, principles, etc. that you must follow, right? Okay, you're either under his wrath, under his blessings, right, or you're under his wrath or curse. You serve one of two masters, either God, Christ, or the devil. There's no middle ground. Okay, and so forth and so forth. Again, this is just hopefully a helpful insight to those who are of the faith, of the hope, who profess to be lovers of God, the Christ, followers, Christians, etc. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe to our channel. Add your comments below, we'll get back to you on those as soon as we can, and then share this video and all our other videos on our channel with all your friends, family, neighbours and strangers, maybe those that you preach to out there on the street, if that's what you do, teach and preach the scriptures. And we will see you on the next video.